It's Thunder Thursday. Gonna give you my update on my Oklahoma City Thunder. All that coming up in 20 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And on this episode, we're going to talk about my Thunder. It's Thunder Thursday. So there's particular parameters that I always want to make sure I bring to you all here for Thunder Thursday. And I want you guys to know how not only great the team is, even though they're playing really bad. So if you look at the numbers currently, their current record is not very good. They're 20-27, but they did just get a 10-point win against Toronto at the crib and made it look like they were actually anti-tanking. But at the same time, we didn't have Al Horford. We didn't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Lou Dort's out. Darius Bazley's out. Based upon the roster, who was that? Brandon, can't remember his name. Great guy over at Thunder's Intentions. Let me pull up his name real quick because it cracked me up when I saw it. And I was like, yeah, he makes a very, very, very valid point. But hold a second. I know he's right here in front of me. Yeah. Brandon Rabar stated that OKC started 3 second-rounders and 2 undrafted players and just beat the Toronto Raptors by double digits. If they want to continue this tank, they need to start Samaje Perine and the list of all the Thunder misfits that we had, Eric Maynor, all of them. That's the only way they're going to be able to lose, because it seems like these young guys are just got something going. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're trying to win. Of course, I would like them to lose more to get a better draft pick, but you want me to be honest? Draft picks are crapshoots. We have no clue who's going to be great, and there's no way we're going to get the number one pick because Minnesota is awful. They're the number one pick. So because of that, I appreciate them at least putting some effort in, because I don't know about anybody else. I mean, it's probably I'd say there's about 7 players that look like they're worth something. And if Houston continues to move themselves in a certain way, there's a chance that we'll end up with Houston's pick. Like right now, they're so far third, but that doesn't mean they're going to pick third. They could fall out 5th or 6th based upon the lottery. And if they do that, guess where we're moving up to? 5th or 6th. We're going to take their pick. So we're not tripping in that capacity. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing I want Thunder fans to really chill out on when it comes to the tank, because unless you tank for number one and get Cade, there's nothing there. And you never know. We could win the lottery. We're going to be a lottery team. We could win the lottery and end up getting Cade still. I mean, there could be a frozen envelope situation here. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. You don't know. So don't even trip. So with that, that's kind of what the Thunder's looking like. So at 20-27, we're still 13th in the league. Honestly, about 4 games outside of the playoffs, which, remember, the playoffs are set up to where there's a play-in. There's a play-in tournament. And because there's a play-in tournament, there is a chance that Oklahoma City could end up in there on accident. I hope we don't, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain. I mean, are you going to complain if the Thunder actually make the playoffs? We going to lose, but still looks good for us to be there. And so because of that, it's going to be interesting moving forward. So now, the roster-wise, SGA's out. He's dealing with the plantar fasciitis I mentioned. He's officially out 2 to 3 weeks is what they're saying. Could be longer. So mid-April-ish is what they're anticipating his return to be, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's probably done for the year. We might get 1 more game out of him, maybe 2, but I don't think he's going to come back. I think they're just going to go ahead and shut him down when they get closer to that time and realize that it's not worth risking it with him when it's much better for us to have him long term. We waived Austin Rivers. So Austin Rivers had 3-year deal, 3 years on his contract, this year and 2 more, but only this year is guaranteed. The other 2 are non-guaranteed years. So we basically picked up an expiring contract similar to what we had with Miles Leonard. We let him go. We cut him. We cut Miles Leonard. We waived them both at least. And so Austin Rivers is going to go off and play for a playoff contender, and he never had to show up in Oklahoma City. Didn't even have to do a physical. Like, what's the point? We weren't going to keep him anyway, so it don't matter. So that's a plus. But Big Al Horford now has been completely shut down. Now, this is a logical move by the Thunder as well as him. They have been in communication. Oklahoma City tried to move him. He had a big deal. His contract's big. He still got 2 years, $53 million-ish over the next couple years still on his contract. So someone would have to absorb that and be prepared to keep him for a few years. And it didn't appear that anybody wanted to do that, which is a shocker. I figured Boston would have really liked to have him because I think he'd be very good up there. But they didn't do a really good job of trying to keep him to begin with, unfortunately. So he ended up in Oklahoma City. Oh, well, he ended up in Philadelphia, who traded him to Oklahoma City. So the bridge might not be completely burnt. They may have put some repairs up, added some steel to it, steel beams to it to where he would be willing to go back. But I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. But, yeah, so that's kind of some of the movement. So due to SGA probably not playing for the rest of the year, I've completely deleted the SGA MIP tracker, him for most improved player. He ain't getting it this year. No chance, mainly because he ain't played enough games. Now, we've got a chance for next year. He's going to have to just jump up from the 23 that he's scoring a game to like 28. If he does that, adds about 7 and 7 per game, be the do-it-all guy, he'll probably end up winning it then. But as of right now, he's not in the runnings for it anymore because he's not playing. So, I mean, it's logical, right? So with that, draft location, we're around 8, 9, 10-ish. The mocks still got us picking up a point guard and Jaden Springer from Tennessee. We'll see what it looks like in the next couple of weeks when things really start heating up later on in the season as we prepare for the draft later in July. We'll see what it truly looks like, but I don't see Oklahoma City moving from this number right now. Miami's going to make the playoffs, so we probably won't swap picks with them. And we just need Houston to win a few more games so that we can steal their pick this year. Because that would be awesome if we did that, right? So, weekly stars. I normally would want to give this to our guy Moses Brown, with his 2020 game that he had, but he kind of went completely the next game after that. So it's kind of hard to give him that, even though he's been really, really good. But I like it for one of our new guys. So, of course, the Thunder made the trade of Hamidou Diallo, sent him up to Detroit, and we got Svi Mihailuk. Svi Mihailuk, the Ukrainian sharpshooter, 6'7", 205 guy. And we finally got him in. He hasn't really started. He played about 5 games, very minimal minutes. But then they decided to start him the last 2 games. So against Toronto and Dallas, he started, and his minutes went up. Last game, so this is why he's a rising star and someone to look out for. Against Toronto, he scored 22 points, was 60% from the field and 50 from 3. He shot the ball 14 times, made 9 shots, made 4 threes out of 8 attempts. Not shooting free throws, but he had 9 rebounds. He is somebody to keep your eye on. The reason I say that is for twofold. One, he could be the shooter that's needed to be paired greatly with an SGA and a Lou Dort. Gives you that big shooting guy that can stand out, especially coming off the bench. You could probably get him about 25, 30 minutes a game, and he can be very productive. 2, we traded from him from Detroit, which would be the second guy that we got from Detroit, thinking that he would continue to shoot great like he did when he was in Detroit, and he could fall off the face of the earth. Hence, a la Kyle Singler, and we're still paying Kyle Singler, by the way. Just FYI. I think we got 1 more year left to pay that guy. But this is one player that I think we should all keep an eye on. He brings a dynamic that we really need. I mean, his second and third game with the team, he put up 15 and 10 points off the bench at 20 and 14 minutes. He shoots a lot of threes, and since he's been here, he is shooting 40% from 3 at 5 threes a game, with 5.8 a game. So we're almost 6 threes a game. Yeah, he's only had 1 game where he only shot 3, but every other game he shot 5 or more. 5, 6, 6, 7, and 8. So he's shooting a ton of threes. And that's what you want. Even if he gets in his own head, he'll still be able to find some confidence, keep gunning. He shot a whole bunch of threes in Detroit, too. That's literally all he did. And so because of that, I think that that's the one reason why you want to keep an eye on him. So good old Thunder Thursday, we got us a player to think about. So now, with that being said, we've got Moses Brown, of course, playing here. And so it's funny because Joel Embiid made mention of Tony Bradley when he was with his squad with Philadelphia. And because Tony Bradley was up there cooking when Joel Embiid went out, he was basically joking, saying, that's it, I've seen enough. Build around this man. He's the truth. He looked decent. I mean, he's been in the league since 2017-18. This is what, his fourth year in the league. He's got 3 years experience, so this is his fourth season. He was with the Jazz for a few years. And now he's here. And then when Joel Embiid went down, he started putting in a little bit of work. But at the same time, he's a big. So you have to ask yourself, who do you start, him? Or do we play our boy, Moses Brown? So now we're at the crossroads of the two. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be 100% honest. At first, I was like, okay, Tony Bradley's got a solid offensive game. Moses Brown is kind of more of a, defensive. He's more of a rebounder and cleanup guy. He really didn't have a whole bunch of moves. Yeah, Moses Brown is a ball hawk. Like, Moses Brown, since he's come up from the G League, has had 7 double-digit rebound games. 7. And then if you add the 2 games where he had 9 rebounds, that gives him 9. 9 games with 9 or more rebounds in there. And he gets a lot of offensive boards. I will keep praising Moses Brown for the offensive board piece. And that's the thing that's going to make him stick. That's why he got that multi-year contract he just got, which I should have mentioned in the news and rumors. He got a multi-year contract, similar, I think, a la Lu Dort, second-rounder type of contract, using some of the mid-level exception, paying him at a decent rate. And because of that, Moses Brown, to me, is now our starting center. It's a done deal. They're going to groom him alongside Dort, SGA, and everybody else, Pokusevski, Darius Bazley, figure all of them out, and they're going to make a roster out of this. And to be honest, I am more proud that they're going to do it that route than they are trying to go through the draft even more. Unless you're guaranteed the number 1 pick and you're guaranteed a stud at one of those picks, I don't see a reason to tank. And at this point, there's no reason for them to tank because they're not going to be bad enough to get there. I mean, when I'm talking bad, you got to be atrocious if you want a chance to actually get one of those bad picks. Perfect example. Minnesota Timberwolves are 8 games ahead of us for the worst pick, and the Pistons are 7 games. And so are the Rockets. And the Magic are 4 games at 16 wins. And then the Cavs are 3 wins. Them and the Wizards. I don't think we're going to be able to be bad enough unless we lose as a team the rest of the games of the season. We're at 47 games now, and there's 72 games in the season. So that means that they need to lose 25 straight games. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't see them doing it. I can totally see Minnesota doing it, though, because Minnesota's really, really bad. So, with that, I do believe that Moses Brown is the future big for us. Watch out for Svi Mykhailiuk. He is really good. And I think Tony Bradley will be a good contributor. I don't know yet. He's still young. We don't know what he's going to truly bring to the table over the years. He got 17 minutes against Toronto, had 5.7 boards. Played against Dallas, had 8 points and 5 boards. So mixing and matching him with Moses, in which I'm gonna watch the Suns game tonight and see a little bit of how they truly mix things up. But I'm not gonna, Suns game tomorrow. My apologies. I'm not going to get my hopes up that he's going to outdo Moses Brown. But like I said, I like seeing them as compliments to each other. You never know. Might be a good thing.